Welcome back to the caster desk, where our webcams crossing our fingers do work. It's SuperNova versus ANEW Esports, game number 2, our final game of the day. My name is still TJ, joined of course by Matt and Iberia, Clan Daniel. How are you doing?
I'm not sure yet, TJ. Look, there's been some fantastic League of Legends game 1s today. I'm a little bit nervous for
Game
the game
2 is
number
not
2
the best
once
record?
again. Huh?
Game 2 is a bad record. We had 100 Thieves complete their game 1, they said okay, nothing matters, and then Maryville especially said okay, nothing matters. And that was a wild ride. The roller coaster derailed at some point when it went careening off into the woods by the theme park. Very similarly, SuperNova are now knocked out of playoff contention. ANEW are solidly locked in. So I'm kind of pulling down my lap bar. Maybe it's one of those things where you have to pull it all the way down over your head. Ready for a roller coaster, man.
Don't ban Aurelion Sol. Don't ban Aurelion Sol. Don't ban Aurelion Sol. Don't ban Aurelion Sol.
I like that idea. The Aurelion Soul is my
just wanna
greatest
see it.
regret that we haven't gotten to see it here in Challengers Uprising.
No!
Actually, hyped. Are you alright? If you're wondering if my green screen, because hey, this is a green screen, pulling back the curtain, we had like a moment there where my green screen failed. That's because my fat lord of a dog has just sat at the base of it again. I'm really upset about it. We like came back mid-game and she had just broken my green screen. Anyway, SuperNova versus ANEW. It is game number 2. We are right on into a Callista first pick with the Varus, a Soul unfortunately, and the Syndra all banned out for ANEW. SuperNova got rid of the Karma, Volibear, and Ashe. Oh, she's leaving now. She's done her job. She's mucked up my green screen and she's out. Bye, Miss Mia. Continue.
I'm just so upset. They couldn't give us the Aurelion Soul. Like, really? Like, you really had to deny me my one pleasure in life? My one pleasure in life is watching one tricks do their one trick thing. Let me tell you a story. I used to, and still do, like, OPGG stalk one tricks religiously. Like, I'd play ARAM, and I'd just look up the one tricks out of curiosity, not because I wanted to be using the sweatiest builds, I promise.
No, and then you find their Twitch streams, which is like mildly more creepy, and sit there and then come back to me and you're like, alright, I found this guy, his name's Blank, and he does this and he does that, and he doesn't actually like when you make a grilled cheese if you put the butter on first, and he prefers to make the grilled cheese in 2 halves and then put it together. And I'm like, alright man, this is a lot of
I like to put the
information.
mail on the outside.
Oh.
I know. While you process that, but Always Plan Ahead was one of the ones for Aurelion Sol I always watched, and for years and years. So I'm really happy. I was really happy to get to cast him, but then he never got to play Aurelion Sol on any of the games that I cast, and it kind of breaks my heart a little bit.
Hey, unfortunately SuperNova aren't in playoffs here, but they are still playing in multiple different SGC tournaments. So tune into the NA amateur scene. If you're here watching us today and this is your first NA amateur tournament, there are loads of others, and they're all a wild ride. They don't have me casting, so they're, slightly better. But you can still find them across the board. And SuperNova are going to be playing in several of them. Big League, I know, is in their playoffs, and I believe SuperNova is still in that. I know Focus Esports, Horizon, they're playing in that. SuperNova here, though, let's cycle back in. Do have their picks beginning. It is going to be Callista, Nautilus in the bot lane, Olaf alongside him. So we're looking pretty standard. ANEW on the opposite side, also pretty bog standard. The only weird thing there for me is the Trundle, which isn't per se weird, I just don't agree with it very much.
It's like a fine blind pickable jungler, right? You know, you go for the Olaf, you go for the Graves, you go for the Trundle. Why is there no Graves? It's fine. For SuperNova, though, Callista and Nautilus, that's an exciting lane. It's usually very, very fun to watch, so, like, my heart's still broken, but I think I can shake off the depression long enough to say that I'm looking forward to see how they perform on that lane. Especially because they don't typically play around their top lanes, so we could see a ton of ganks coming in from that Olaf through the bottom lane and just absolute smashery going down against ANEW, who are playing Felios Braum, which is a later scaling lane. Oh.
I'm so into Aphelios Braum. Hey! He got his Talia.
Okay.
No, he plays a damn good Talia. I'm excited to see that. of course, we are...
Okay! Lock it.
We are, of course, referring to Always Plan Ahead, who is known as the Aurelian Soul Star. We don't have that here, but we will see Instalia, which I believe did prevail in a similar series played in Big League. So there you go. Corky comes out in the mid lane for ANEW.
Genuinely excited. PJ, I was excited about the Kassadin because I really like Kassadin. I think Kassadin's a really cool champion. And you know what? If you're not going to give me the Aurelian Soul, you might as well give me the Kassadin. But no, apparently they just want to break my heart. That's fine. Regular, plain old League of Legends in the right mindset, I swear. We have a Gangplank, and that excites me.
Yeah, GP intercept in the top lane is always a fun matchup, particularly for the GP, not as much for the set. We do get our Corky and Talia matchup in the mid lane.
What the hell were you going for impressionist artist Salvador Dali there? You're just like, yeah, and she's just gonna throw a bunch of melted clocks at him, or is that Zillion?
Talia, I think, is where I was going with that. And I swear that's not how it's said. I know that. SuperNova do get there. Kalista Nautilus bot lane, which isn't as powerful as it once was, but certainly is still a threat. My kind of story for them then, it's been a long day, is that the Kalista needs to get started early. I want to see this Aphelios bullied out of lane. I want to see the Braum get just bypassed, see that Talia come down alongside the GP Global ult. There's a lot of tools on SuperNova to shut down this Aphelios early to make certain ANEW never get to a game state where Shoryu's Aphelios is a threat again.
You know, TJ, at this rate, I think you're going to need to get a cutlery drawer for all the spoonerisms you're making. That's a shout out for all the linguists in the chat. But on to the new side. Double-bladed carry skills fantastic into the late game. Again, we're going to be looking for a Muramana power spike. Exciting! So that 17 to 20 minute mark for the Corky. Assuming he goes Muramana first. I don't know what other build you'd go in the current meta, but I've been wrong before, and I would be happy to be wrong. Maybe you could go the Frozen Fist build that Doinby went last year in the LPL. That was always fun. It was dumb, but it was fun.
I like that we started this whole show day by doing the whole LPL coach thing, where we were like, Coach Clendaniel, these games aren't chaotic enough for the LPL standards, and then we've just had a day of pure chaos.
Yeah. And I wasn't ready for it. Because, see, the funny thing is, chat, when you've been so long without chaos in your life, without a true, not even Fiesta game, but a game that grabs you by the hair, or in my case, I guess
bald,
the arm
man.
hair. Yeah,
okay.
I've had a lot of those games. I worked for the LPL. I had a lot of games grab me by the hair. There's none left to grab. But when a game really just goes somewhere, and it goes there fast, you're just like, wow, that was wild, that was fantastic. But if you ever have two of them in the same day, the second one is just like, oh my god, I am getting sensory overload. I cannot process the amount of League of Legends happening to me right now. So, I'm not sure which camp we're going to be in today, but this is definitely looking a lot more standard than Game 2 of the last series.
Unlike Game 2 of the last series, SuperNova still seem like they're going for some proper research here. I want to build our story again, like we did in game number 1 around the mid lane. Always plan ahead versus 5Fire. It has been our star matchup all game long, all series long. We did have 5Fire come out on top last game on the Zillion into Oriana matchup. We have a little bit more of a standard pick for him now with the Corky. Surely this means you're going to see early presence from 5Fire being ridiculous.
I just want 5Fire to be the North American Doinby. Just absolutely ridiculous and crazy aggressive at all times. So 5Fire, if you're listening, I have a branding idea for you. Contact me on Discord.
How do you get all the players to DM you today, Matt? Is there something you need to share?
I'm secretly an e-girl.
Okay.
Buy me skins.
Secret about that.
Oh, you already knew. Well, glad.
Fine, you already. Okay, here is a blue buff invite level 1. SuperNova want to start this action off with a bang. And ANEW are fighting for it. No vertical jungle, no conceding here.
I'm liking it. I'm liking this incredibly aggressive level 1. But ANEW is in a lot of trouble. Exhaust already going down. Spite's gone down as well. There's the heal, but it's not going to be enough to keep him alive. And now ANEW are just turning to level 1. TJ, I thought we were getting a standard game, and here we are with 4 kills in 2 minutes already. If Evan RL is taken out here, one more auto, that'll do it. And 5 fire, 1-0-1 now in the mid lane. He's only Mastery 4 on Corki? I know that's a weird thing to point out. Now, he's 1-0-1. He's clearly a fantastic player, but like, all right.
He doesn't want to spend the blue essence, Matt, and I respect that.
Well, no, you get 5 for free.
I do
He just, like, hasn't played Corki on his main account.
I do want to raise just Winter's bike there. And Winter on the Winter's bike. Hey, it's some synergy, but the level 1 of him just applying the stun to literally everyone in the fight was beautiful. You have Mike Young on the Trundle there to make that happen. The SuperNova are already so behind.
Fire, what the hell are you? All right.
He's warding, Matt.
Stay.
He's warding.
I thought he was going to stay and like try and clear Raptors or anything. I'm so prepared for things to go terribly wrong, TJ.
Oh, he's planned. He's prepared as well. He planned for this. 5 fire will get punished on his little return from the warding trip. ANEW is going to be spotted. Oh, that's value. Mike Young stalks for him and full engages.
Oh, beautiful pillar as well. Goodbye to ANEW. He still has the flash available though. Maybe able to find it. No, he just wins the 1v1, and meanwhile in mid lane, 5 fire gets taken out as well. Oh no.
Fights don't get much more mechanical than that. Producer Joe, we better have the high mechanics fight. This was how this kill in mid lane happened. Always planned, actually properly outplaying. Very well played by Basilia.
That's what happens when you 1v1 someone that has Conqueror when you have Phase Rush, I guess, for the side of Mike Young. But this does make relevant a point that we kind of had to ignore last game, which is when ANEW don't get Mike Young doing his thing early game successfully, they kind of just fall apart into the mid to late game because he sort of is their early game to mid game engine, and he'll keep doing his thing no matter what. So if the team can no longer follow up because they're behind, oh my god, what a 700 IQ ward from Shoreview. Holy cow.
You knew that was coming. Mad Zalin Turing, computing all the possibilities simultaneously. Comes the engage on orange, scared back by the Winter's bite underneath the turret. Sure, you will be able to stay safe and clear the wards.
You know that Microsoft's Excel is Turing complete? Just a fun fact while we see Orange get killed. I just thought it was important that everyone know. Mike Young going to be able to pick that one up, get revenge. And yeah, Phase Rush. So the problem in the earlier 1v1, like I was saying, is that Phase Rush against Conqueror, if you take any sort of extended trade, you just kind of lose. But in shorter trades, you're able to chase down the opponent so much easier. And even in more extended ones, if you're not trying to directly 1v1, it gives you a lot more teamfight mobility. It is incredibly strong. I'm not saying that, like, Phase Rush is bad. It's actually, I'd argue, in a lot of cases, just the better rune to take.
Oh dear.
Compared to PTA, because most people don't go Conqueror.
He's
always
surfing
playing
it.
with a good roam.
Bo2 with the well-timed haymaker. Might survive this. Always plan once the chase. He'll take a chunk from turret. He's also eating the result of a full minion wave. Doesn't have level 6. He must gaze on. Like Rose on the deck of the Titanic. He must watch his true love slip away into the night. Oh, Bo2! He backs. Look at Bo2! He just backed away. Oh, his plan is like kiting through turret again. Oh dear. I'm not sure he wins this fight at this point.
What the hell is this, ANEW?
Like, what
are you doing? What the hell are you doing? Alright. Round 2, I guess. I don't know why. There's the suplex into the haymaker. That's gonna be a kill. Another one! Bo2 gets 3. What the hell is happening?
Bo2 is a monster. The bot lane is still going. Sure you will managed to stay alive behind Winter. And they keep that battle even.
SuperNova, we gonna have a discussion after this one. Because that was the 3 kills fed over to Bo2 for no reason. Come on, make it 4.
They say, I hear you, Matt. Problem is, that's not an even number.
Oh, good point. The worst part is Bo2 has Cull and Doran Shield. Like, those are the least offensive items you could possibly buy in this situation.
He's just, okay, now he's got an opportunity. Pillar's good from Mike Young, but anything else going to be able to stay ahead of it. He's turning for it. He's got a waste plan surfing in. Mike Young down to half HP already. Bo2 says, I'll take these. I know I win them. He's done the research. He's level 8 in a 2v1. Place your bets, Matt.
He's dead, but he's going to get one.
Okay.
Oh,
no!
Right.
Just cleanly shut down. That's not what we've come to expect at all. SuperNova managed to finally stop the rampage. Bo2 manages to finally back. I'm not sure who really wins. Oh,
I'm gonna be keeping an eye on Bo2 going forward, like later on in next season, because this is a Bo2 I haven't really seen in any of the games that I've watched from ANEW. Like, he's always been like a fine top laner. Don't get me wrong. Like, he's never been bad. They just always play around in weak side, and then he just, granted, they kind of threw into him this game, but last game he popped the hell off on Volibear. In this game, he's popping off again on this set. Speaking of popping,
stunned down.
Light's health bar's gone.
Yup, very well played again off the Winter's bike. Winter, we're talking about highlight players, both series first on the Thresh. Now here on the Broad, he has been impeccable.
This is just fantastic League of Legends. I'm not saying that is like objectively, analytically fantastic League of Legends. This is so much fun. Like, we have another fun game. This one's a whole lot more serious than the 100 Thieves game too, but these players, you can tell, are just like having a little bit of fun with it.
Yeah, taking some risks they wouldn't normally because there are no more playoff implications, but still giving it the best swing. We do have a replay. Oh my god, Producer Joe! He's showing things off. Just panning the camera around.
That was so funny. Alright, let's watch it again.
Oh my god.
And in the red corner, Bo2 set.
Who would win? An entire team or one misty boy? That will be a full engage on Clyde again in this replay. We got another look at the impeccable play necessary to lock down a stunned Nautilus. Very well played.
I'm really proud of you, TJ, because I heard you about to do the same thing I did last game too.
Not noticed. Well, I was
not
like, why are we getting a replay of this? Joe, I love your replays. Joe, I love your replays, but I don't feel like that was a necessary replay.
I liked it.
Okay. Oh, Joe, you've got a fact. Flash away from Winter. He'll stay safe during this fight. Ooh. Steal of the return, actually. Mike Young gets bullied off of his lunch. Tray spilt everywhere, man. Tough Kid walks up to him in the lunch hall. Did the thing where you hit the tray from the bottom and the food goes everywhere.
Oh man, like from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man?
Exactly.
I saw a version of that scene. I highly recommend watching it for any weebs in the audience, because I'm sure there are like 700 out of the 500 people in chat.
Like, fans, they've seen this amount of it.
Yeah. There's one where they do it with Giorno's theme from JoJo. It's hilarious. I love it. Bo2's getting ganked again. He's going to quickly find himself with a second death. But he'll be able to find a kill on a PCL regardless. A lot of damage going on from Always Plan.
Oh, that gets so close. 3 players on the top side of the map, and I would like to confirm that is the requisite amount. And does get the kill on Bo2. Managing to get back into this SuperNova.
Alright, let's calm down a little bit. We can just try and have a game again, TJ. Wouldn't it be nice to just have some League of Legends to talk about? No more.
I'm actually really enjoying this competitive Dawn game, so...
Oh.
We could keep... Brutal will come through. Torrent is gone.
Sorry, you told me in the old man nostalgia mode I'm going to be useless for the next 30 seconds while I think about Dawngate?
There was a Kickstarter recently.
Yeah.
People are some small indie studios bringing it back. Rift Herald will collide on 2 turrets here, and Vodor is walled off again. He'll flash over the wall.
This is the reverse of what happened last game. He was like winning lane fine, and then is just getting absolutely abused in the later stages of the lane.
Godroid
should have this,
5 fire in. Vodor stays alive. 5 fires arrive. 1 kill already. PCL for the second. They will lose Vodor. But always plan will go down as well, and that is a lot of blood spilled on the side of SuperNova for 1 turret and a kill. They're trying to get a little bit more from that map focus. They'll be able to get some plates in mid onto Evan.
Okay, let's take stock of the game so far. Herald was blown top, was able to take down 2 towers. Fantastic there for SuperNova. Vodor is now stuck kind of farming up again, but this is what happened to him last game, and I counted him out last game, and he was doing much worse than now. He should have the Blade of the Ruined King within 700 gold, so that'll be this next back. He should be able to acquire that. And from there, I think he can start handling those fights again. I'd like to point out, though, that Always Plan Ahead bought a Medjai's at, like, I kid you not, it was his first item. It was a Medjai's and 2 Amplifying Tomes. Currently 0 stacks on it. Not saying the 2 are related, but I'm just pointing out that those 2 facts have occurred in this game.
Oh, poor lad. It was so shocking. It was looking really good. You know, they already lost 4 kills in the first minute, and they were like, oh man, I'm gonna get some stacks.
I got it. This is the game for Medjai's.
Both mid lanes currently, or both bot lanes currently flying in mid. Sure, you and Co are the ones under threat as a full gang squad from SuperNova has arrived. By full, I mean literally all 5 players. I do think they're safe behind the second turret, and they're so wrong. Winter will be chewed up, Fatal Fissure. Not quite enough to lock down any kills. Here comes Vodor on the rotate. Kills SuperNova over the wall, and he does get picked up instantly by 5 fire, who's chasing down the kills across the map. Vodor stands strong. ANEW win the fight. Yes, again, SuperNova are left behind.
Well, Always Plan just casually goes for the blue buff. Very cool. Thank you, APA. And now Mike Young trying to 1v1 PCL. Won't find it. It was actually a 1v2. Surprise APA. Look, there's the Medjai's 8 stacks.
And he's got blue buff now.
Yeah. Worth it. Oh, worth it.
Flash engage from Clyde. Doesn't find anything. The second time's the charm. Not pulling 5 fire down to a sliver. Mate being Winterest to come in to back him up. Very well played. SuperNova will manage to fully disengage here and stay safe.
Sorry, I'm just still down in nostalgia lane. I was just remembering the old Corky build where you would go Trinity Force Luden's Gunblade.
Okay.
No, it was... What was it? Trinity Force Luden's into Leandri's. It was one of those 2. And it was sick because Corky got to build AP and he doesn't anymore. And anyways, bring back AP Corky.
That has been your Matt Clinton minute. For more on this, we go to Twitch chat, I guess. I don't know.
What? Why are you giving it over to Twitch? I don't trust Twitch chat on a broadcast, TJ. I would never hand over a broadcast to Twitch chat.
Chat's nice. I've been watching them. One guy, here, let me look. One guy just said, I like the bald guy.
I don't... They haven't seen me for the last, like, 15 minutes at least, so I really don't think so.
Unironically, a comment I saw over on camera, so... you didn't doubt Twitch chat. Clyde in trouble here. Will get blown up. Yet another sad death for Clyde, who I have to say has been a little bit lost in the jungle this game.
Can I just get a hell yeah for 5 fire popping off once again this game?
Hell yeah.
Thank you, TJ. It's so cheap.
Twitch chat says that they're pretty sure you're still bald, even though they haven't seen you in a couple of minutes.
You don't know that?
He's looking around for a wig or something.
I am. I don't have a wig. I left it in China. Raz made us all wear wigs as part of a bet, but I like had hair for the first time in 2 years, so I was like cool with it.
Lived in this dream for a hot moment, and Raz thought it was punishment. Winter in trouble. Will need to back away. There is still trouble in for the rest of his team, but a flash of the wall should take my young safety. He's down to a sliver of HP. Him and Shoryu both. Him and 5 fire 3. That'll be 2 kills over. Winter trying to escape. Always planned.
Comes the
on him, spending the Weaver's Wall just to cut off poor Bo2, who has been in so much trouble this game. Doesn't even get the ulti. Cleansed beautifully by the Ragnarok. And SuperNova strike back, hit it back hard. Whoa!
Hey TJ, I think they should make an anime Talia skin, and bear with me, I know that's a bad sell so far, but you'd rename the ultimate to Weaver's Wall.
I hate that that's 100% something that just like popped into your head when I say Weaver's Wall 2 seconds ago.
You know exactly when I started that idea.
You're like, this is a good idea, I should say this on stream. And you're right. Drake will be scooped up. SuperNova, weirdly enough, back in this. 18 stacks on that Magi's we were roasting earlier, so...
I guess we're idiots, that's fine.
Always planning further ahead than we were.
I just want Chad to know I'm not a weeb. I just like... Wait, no. The moment I said I'm not a weeb, I lost all credibility. The moment you deny being a weeb is the moment everyone assumes that you have 17 anime body pillows. And I'll let you know, I only have 14.
I know your girlfriend will verify this. She will tell me. Legit. Yeah.
I don't have any. I barely have any pillows, in fact.
Without a second of hesitation, Lucio will tell me exactly how many anime pillows you have. Alright, let's take another look at this fight. It got chaotic. I want to say a lot of this is actually from the whale. Oh Lord. Team fights happening again back. This will be on Orange. Take it out. As our resident weeb, producer Joe, chimes in. That man actually has an anime desktop background, I've seen it. And I was like, Producer Joe, you have an anime desktop background, haha, you weeb, and he just owned it. Which is how you know they're the scary kind of weeb. He's just like, yeah, I do. That's my Producer Joe impression.
Yeah, you need some work, you said.
I don't respect anime fans enough to do a proper impression.
Wow! Pretty nice to do. You've been good today. Okay, here's an engage going on Shoryu. He's getting caught out again. There's the ultimate back, and Evan RL poking out with as much damage as he can. Shoryu in the backline is going to get attacked here by APA. The flash away from both of them. The chase in. That Magi's TJ is back at 18 stacks. That's not how that works.
Full hook in from Fly. Started this fight beautifully. And Evan's just there on the flank. Meanwhile, across the map, TP.
What? Hey! That was important.
Sure.
Anyways, the rest of this fight is just Shoryu getting chased away.
And off the back of that, I think it is entirely fair to say SuperNova are now back in this. Lord help us. The Rift Arrow did end up getting picked up by Mike Young in the middle of all that. But
so
SuperNova...
if I were to put my big brain hat on, and I don't know if it fits anymore now that my head has shrunk so much from the Game 2s from these two series, because they've both been non-playoff implications, so the teams are just kind of going for it. If I were putting my said analyst thinking cap on with my 3 brain cells, I would say the problem in these fights is that Fire and Shoryu keep getting caught out of position and forced away from the rest of their team and immediately blown up. So they need to be playing further back in these fights and need to be trying to make it work better as a front-to-back fight.
I mean, that last fight, Fire was just hanging out in the bot lane. Which is
yeah, just fucking dying. And that's just how that goes.
Team's going for the Rift Herald and... Hi. I got some split push core. Yeah.
Yeah, the split push Corki. That's the way it goes. Had TP. Followed it eventually.
TP bat? I mean... Could just stay in lane and get another kill though.
That's true. That's true, TJ. Firefire has finished the Muramana transform now. That's important. But not as important as this engage, TJ. My God!
Last depth charge! Sure used to Dullington. Clyde finally answers back for his abuse all game long. How do you like a taste of your own medicine? Firefire follows through. Him, the mid laner, and the AD carrier both removed, always planned. Shad, as always, Weaver's walls into the enemy jungle, and this is very clean, but he can't quite find the final ability gas. And as a result, Mike Young and Bo2 are both here. Bo2 is quite angry about the handling his teammates gotten. He'll spend the ultimate just to get the kill and always plan, but it's not enough. And Clyde's there for the cleanup as well. Bo2 goes down to the martyrdom, and that means it's going to be SuperNova getting the Baron.
What a game. This game is like so back and forth for so long. I'm loving it. This is fantastic. From here, what happens, TJ? Let's think about this. I thought SuperNova were going to fall off in the later stages of the game, but they have a Talia with the 21 stack Medjais, so they don't really fall off at all, on top of the Gangplank, who I knew would scale into the later stages of the game. ANEW were going to try and answer with this Dragon, which will put them on Soul Point and give them something to work towards in the mid-late game, despite their fantastic scaling, and give them an additional win condition. The problem is still these team fights. Like that last fight you pointed out, it was just, sure, you got exploded instantly.
We don't have a cure for the disease that commonly affects Aphelios, known as sudden destruction syndrome.
Sudden onset death.
Sudden onset death. There we go. That's the joke. But
Too much Galaxy Cream.
Aphelios suffer from that. Sudden onset death. Happens to the best of them. Low mobility character who's terrifying in team fights, and when there's burst damage available, well, the focus comes through. And now ANEW are hiding behind their turrets, which is not how I imagined they thought this game would be going, say, 10 minutes ago.
It's not how I imagined this game would be going either, and I have a much more bird's eye perspective of it. They have to play this game as well.
No.
Okay.
ANEW and Co are just having to shelter. I will note SuperNova aren't doing very much with this. They're going to get a turret on the split push. Probably not get this mid lined up this pace. Thanks, Producer Joe, for the quick zoom in on the brawl. Oh, respected that. Full engage will come out. This is going to be the turret as I predicted. Falling. The full engage shrinks away. Fire goes, oh, really? Okay. And they drift back. That means mid-turret will get picked up as well, with about 40 seconds left on the Baron side. SuperNova are able to get to the inhibitor turrets, but no further.
Okay, this Baron play should be ceased about here. The last push is coming in now. They'll be hitting the bottom lane first, and then into the mid. And the bottom lane is the last one where they're going to have Baron. So, like, if they're going to fight over this, this is the time when that'll happen. Firefire does not have package. Vodor's going in, though. TJ, this is a fight already.
Always flanked very low, was blinded by the brilliance of Bodor's in-cage, and he almost finds the kill. Always planned on a sliver of HP. I think they have bought the time. ANEW cannot fight any longer. And that will be a stall out of the Baron power play. No inhibitors fall.
That was worth it. If they don't die here, that was worth it. Mike Young in a little bit of trouble.
TP.
The teleport coming in. Oh no, they don't see it coming.
You can't see it coming. They don't know. PCL is just lurking behind them. Mike Young and Firefire are both about to get poked down pretty low as the flank will come through. PCL actually is uninterested because he's got a sure use to blow up. Sudden onset death strikes again. The AD carry for ANEW is popped off the map before this fight comes out. Like a turret will barely survive the turret shots. We're fine.
Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Always Plan is just absolutely terrifying on this Talia, though. 9-4 and 9 with a fully stacked Medjai. Like, look at what he did to a Trundle. Oh my god! Mike Young, 1 HP, the flash of the wall from PCL. Saves Always Plan as well because it forces Firefire to back off. This might just be a SuperNova victory.
Yep, they're looking to bring this to a 1-1 set. I believe, again, this has no playoff implications, but you love to see it. SuperNova still bringing the heat, even at a game that doesn't matter for playoffs, even once they're eliminated from Cup. They're still managing to make this game exciting. And ANEW are maybe getting exposed a little bit. Their rotations, their macro haven't looked so clean this game. Fire, what are you doing? Literally, what are you doing?
He's best. You leave him alone. He found a kill.
Onto Clyde! Yeah!
That's a kill.
He's like trying to climb out of the locker he got stuffed into in the early game, and Fire kicked him back in. So he's just bullying.
Get out of
here.
Yeah. I want everyone at home to know that I did lean back in my chair and attempt to kick and almost fell over.
A little bit. Moment, Matt.
A
It
moment in
looks
time.
like this game was too powerful.
Oh, Gray. All right. It's coming back to us. Sorry, chat. We were in the game, but then we developed amnesia.
Oh, whoa, we're back. Whoa. I don't know what just happened.
Whoa. I just remembered that there's League of Legends going on, TJ.
Yeah. Crazy that. Right, with a hook. Doesn't find the target, but they do engage. Bo2 gets nothing on his suplex. Now he's in the middle of the fight. Showstopper gets him nothing. Bo2's just gone. And here comes Owen like that hook last.
Maybe able to find more kills off this. Look at the damage that Firefire's been able to put out so far. PCL just running down, showing you. Not going to be able to find him. But Fire put out so much damage onto Always Plan. Almost one-shot him. Back down 15 stacks. How's it feel now? That first item, Medjai's. That was a bad call, I'm going to say, retroactively, 20 minutes later.
Bit of roller coaster moment, but goodness of that cool. ANEW strike back again. They may be down and in him, but Matt, they've gotten the cloud zone.
They're going to be real speedy. Let's take a look at how they got there in this fight. Watch Always Plan and Fire in this fight. That's really who you need to watch. Shoryu just gets dove again, as usual, and they save him this time.
For sure, you might. But Visual under Always Plan with like nothing. I just want to cool that out.
No, it didn't do anything, but Fire just finds the angle eventually on this fight. Just pops him over the wall.
This really is
and then
just
from
the
there,
battle of the two mid laners.
who's going to zone him off?
Oh my god.
Yeah!
Shoutouts to Fire. Yeah! Twitch chat, $20 to the guy who can best recreate Fire's intense stare from that profile picture.
I'm in on that bet.
Give me some emoticons. Give me some ASCII text. We will see SuperNova gather together for a top lane push. ANEW to punish this. Rotate in, and oh my lord, my young goodbye. Don't manage to get away somehow, and Bo2's still going. He's managed to pick up Evan, and he's managed to disengage. The flash over the wall will not save Clyde. He's down again, and ANEW have won a major fight. PCL wants to turn. He'll fight Fire against the kill. Oh my lord, they've got two. Winter's barely alive. Hello, Always Plan. He steps back up and turns the fight again. 2 kills both ways. A tied fight.
But you need to be careful here. Because Shoryu almost got interrupted there, shall we say, by Always Plan. But, as you said, 2 for 2. This game is still going slightly in favor of SuperNova. I would have expected by this point for Shoryu scaling to have kicked in and then just absolutely be destroying these fights. Same for Fire. Fire, to be fair, is doing a lot of damage, but you know, TJ, silly me, I didn't account for the damage that an 11-kill, 23-stack Medjai Rabadon's cap Talia would do.
I forgot he had 23 stacks. I don't know how.
I don't know how to analyze a Medjai's. Like, at a certain point, it actually just is worth it, and I think the point is when these fights keep going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and whenever you die, the next fight, you can just get 3 kills and be fully stacked again. I don't know how else to put it.
Fire versus Always Plan is a banger. I can't wait for playoffs. I can't wait to see Fire against some of the mid lane's more serious games, but this one, certainly I wouldn't have wanted to miss. That onto a ward, that CP. Control ward, to be fair.
They see it coming in. 1k left on the Baron, taken away. They're still alive here. Firefire has so much damage. Always Plan just gets assassinated by a Corki.
He got crop dusted. Mike Young in the front line will keep this fight going. He's going to full engage and be the tank as the set right. Fight carried into the back of the fight. A double kill, a triple kill off the back of Bodor's play. Firefire and Shorty claim the kills themselves, but we know who does the damage as Bodor is back. Mike Young does not win this fight, please call in a friend. And Firefire is there. Hey, I heard some kids with being mean.
I love the way, unironically, that Mike Young played that fight against PCL. He was attacking the barrels first, and I can see no better sign of domination as ANEW are shoving into the Nexus towers.
ANEW will clean things up. It will be, after all of that, a 2-0 series, solidly locking their place at the top of their group. Into playoffs go ANEW, SuperNova, or sadly, relegated out of the group stage, but we certainly enjoyed their time here, and if there's anything to take away from it, it's that you ought to be watching what Always Plan does next.
What a beautiful game. I mean, where else can you find a Medjai's first Talia mid? Who then goes on to get 25 stacks multiple times throughout the game?
It's funny because the actual answer is the LPL.
That's not a coincidence, I'm just going to say that right now.
You're casting both those.
Yeah.
Matt,
shout out to
Matt
Always Plan in the chat. I respect that Medjai's first.
Twitch chat had some really good Firefire faces as well. Keep those. I want to see them next time he pops off. And there will be a next time. He's going forward to playoffs. And he is one of the most terrifying players in NA Amateur right now. So keep a big eyes on that. We do have another analyst desk coming up soon to close out the day. Of course, my name's been TJ, joined by Matt and Iberia Daniel on the front lines of this production, but we'd like to thank everyone at Challengers Uprising who made it happen. Of course, we have producers Joe and Lauren on the front end. I'd also like to give a huge shout out to Doc, who's been our graphic designer. Everything you see that looks so pretty is as a result of him and his stress, his overwork stress. We play a fun game where we find him like the day before show and we go, hey, I need a poem, but with a graduation hat on.
And we're like, no, don't do it now. Don't worry, Doc. Please don't work yourself to death. And then 8 minutes later, he's like, I made the graphic for you. We were like, we said, don't do it tonight, Doc. And he's like, I made it.
He's a hero. We also have Chrono, who's of course been in the chat all day long, and is the head of this beautiful ship, alongside Sabi. The whole analyst desk, Rafa, the lads are on the interviews. It's been a fantastic show as a result of all of their hard work. This is the graph, if you needed to see it, between SuperNova and ANEW. I don't think there's a whole lot to take away from that game, except that both these mid laners are terrifying. And that absolutely should be the story coming out of this. Don't go far. We do still have an analyst desk coming up, but from us, my name's been TJ and Matt, Iberia Daniel. That will be all on the day. Matt, your lessons out of the group stage into playoffs?
Medjai's first Talia, it can work. Try it in your solo queue games, but not if you're playing with me.
Definitely not at his solo queue games. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the analyst desk. Come back next Wednesday. Sorry, Wednesday after next, July 15th, when the quarterfinals start. For now, we throw it to a quick break.
Save Rafa, Specs. Save him.
We can't save him.
Save him.
He. Oh, wait.
Oh.
He's back.
It worked. The Pokemon tears worked.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Rafa. You survived Nocturnal?
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know, but it was a clean stopwatch. I got to tell you.
Yeah.
It was so clean. It lasted for like 45 minutes.
Oh, I had to trigger it at the last second. You know, just sometimes you got to get those clutch plays in. But
Okay.
Oh, well, it is good to be back, and man, what an exciting and very entertaining game to close out the day here on Challengers Uprising. I have to say, a a lot of back and forth, a lot of points being totaled back and forth. We are getting the totals in just a few moments here, but Smacks and Cubby, I want to ask, do you have any regrets? I'll start with Smacks here because I'm looking at the calculations right now. It seems like your pick or your faith in Niles and Otto didn't work out too well. Both of them earned under... Well, okay, so Otto earned 26 points in his second game, but Niles only earned 9 points in his first game and 6.82 points in the second game. So,
yeah.
How do you feel about that, Smacks?
My contingency plan didn't quite work. I believed a little too much in the conspiracy theory for Maryville. And I deeply regret this. I definitely should have gone for one of the players in this set, which I didn't. I didn't have any players in this set, so we knew my total at the end of the first one, and it was already pretty low, and I was like, I don't know. And then this game was so close, and everyone had 1 million kills, and I was like, well, I guess I'm just dead last now.
It happens. Well, meanwhile, on the other side, points totals are still being calculated, but Cubby ranked in a lot of points. I mean, just the Kenvi pick alone in that second game, you brought in 36 points, man. So, congrats to you.
I needed it.
That's a lot.
I was in last by a long shot. I needed it today as I want to avoid any big punishments that we have, as we will continue this one going into playoffs, but we're still cooking up something extra special for the viewers in terms of keeping this game and the predictions rolling all the way through.
Oh, and it looks like we're getting the totals in, and bam, Cubby, all those points. You are now no longer in last place. Smacks, that title belongs to you. And Cubby, you're actually you're barely under a point behind me, about 0.3 there. So I have to watch out here. You're coming right behind in the first place.
You definitely might want to check that Galaxy Cream. I didn't have any today.
Yeah.
And apparently the big brand analyst did, all natural, shown through. We're going to ignore the first few weeks, but we made up for it today.
My Smack syndrome wasn't quite cured today, I guess.
Smacks, it might have been the sample that you got that could have been effective, because I still did fairly well this week. It's just Cubby just using that raw coaching experience from the collegiate scene coming in finally. It took you a little while to scale, but you got there at least into the right before the playoffs started.
It was about time. We picked Aphelios. We had to play it slow. Very much unlike the game that we just saw, which was over 2 kills a minute.
Yeah, that game was just wow. I don't know.
There's a lot to unpack.
We were so lost on who was going to win it up until like the very last fight, because like we thought this was going to be another fiesta of a game 2. We saw the game 2 of the previous set, and we're like, okay, that was a fiesta. And then we come into this game 2 where the game doesn't matter as much for SuperNova. They're already knocked out. So then we see, APA's Talia play in the top lane, and we're like, all right, well, I guess this is going to be another
level 1.
thing. And that. And the quadra kill at level 1 across the team, of course, but still. There were so many signs that pointed to this being another fiesta game 2. And then, APA, he picks up the Medjais, and we're like, all right, yeah, they're just trolling. And then later on, we see that it has 25 stacks, and we're like, how did that happen?
Yeah, always plan ahead. I'm almost a little disappointed that I didn't pick him up for this week's fantasy, because I truly believe that the odds were kind of stacked, and that's why I went with Fire. But if Always Plan Ahead gets either the Aurelion Soul or the Talia, regardless if the game is a loss, he always puts up the numbers. I mean, he is just so good at those 2 champions in particular. It's just, and that's what makes APA such a cool person, because he has these 2 pocket picks that just differentiate him from the rest of the mid lane pool in amateur scene. And, but we do have to, as we already said in game 1, unfortunately SuperNova will not be continuing on into the playoffs here at Challengers Uprising. We actually, going back to a couple other teams as we rounded out the standings, we got live footage of game 2 between Polar Ace and Mirage to determine what the playoff standings were from there.
Really? Producer Joe? Oh. 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 Oh no. Oh no.
So
no.
Polar Ace had won the first game, and they were looking to close things out against Mirage, but then Mirage came back, and Polar Ace said, "Sorry, wildcard." Bam! Out you go of the playoff circuit, and they killed wildcard's dreams. And the most unfortunate thing is, like, I have to say, it was so sad because Wildcard 2-0'd Long Beach Nation as well. So they were almost there for the Cinderella miracle run.
They did their part. They held up their end of the bargain.
Polar Ace, you had one job. Polar Ace, you had one job.
Unlucky.
That's all that Wildcard is thinking right now.
They spun them around too much.
Yeah, and that's going to matter too, because they have to play a tiebreaker for first now in that group.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, we do actually have word that we're getting an interview with Five Fire with Ari Panda after that series.
Welcome back, Cuppers. I am Aria Panda, and I am here with 5-star prospect mid laner Five Fire from ANEW Esports. Five Fire, thank you so much for joining me for this interview, and congratulations on your 2-0 win over SuperNova. So with that win, you tie with Polar Ace for first place in Group A of Challengers Uprising. So congratulations. Tell me a little bit about that series against SuperNova.
So this series was pretty interesting. The first game, the second game for sure. But first, I'll go over the first game. It felt pretty controlled for the most part from us. We executed on a lot of the things that we wanted to practice over the past couple days, and I actually felt like we played a lot cleaner than we did against them a few days ago. And overall, that game was pretty insane. Actually, I think almost everybody on our team played pretty well. I had a couple too many deaths, but it ended up being all right. And then in this in this second game, I mean, we called their bluff on the invade. We were able to. I mean, we 4-for-0'd, I'm pretty sure. It was looking super good. Rodov then proceeded to punch some people in the face in top lane. Was set. It was feeling pretty awesome. But props to SuperNova. And really, off the back of APA, they were able to make some comeback plays and really make us sweat for it, make us work for it. But in the end, I did have to package all over APA's face and just one-shot him to show who's the real 5-star prospect here.
Right. No, super close series that second game. Having a little bit of fun, it looked like. So going into the playoffs now, you guys do have to play a tiebreaker for first and second place to finish off placements against Polar Ace. So how are you guys feeling about that matchup?
Honestly, we're feeling pretty confident. We've historically done pretty well against Polar Ace, and I think we're in the best form we've been in all scouting ground circuit. So we definitely have confidence, but they're definitely not a team to count out, especially Julian role swapping to support. He's had a lot more time now to practice that role, and he might give us more of a challenge.
For sure. All right. Also, I hear it's your birthday tomorrow.
This is true.
Oh,
happy
birthday.
It's 30 minutes until my 21st birthday.
Wow.
So I'm sure I'll be having a good time tonight celebrating the win.
Well, there you go. It's the stars aligned. So congratulations again. Thank you so much for joining us here on Challengers Uprising. And I'm going to send it back to the analyst desk.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ari Panda. And Aiden, I didn't realize tomorrow was your birthday. So here on the analyst desk, we have a little something for you.
Look, I drew a party hat.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. It's.
Oh,
there we go.
Oh, we got the Wii version.
Whee! Aiden or Five Fire. Happy birthday to you.
Let's go.
Yeah. Well, that's a nice way to start your birthday, by kicking out your competition out of the playoffs. It's just and proving you are the true 5-star prospect. And it makes sense. 5-star, 5 fire. It goes well together. But even though that game was quite the party, we still have some things that we want to go over. So I'm going to start with you, Cubby, to look at some of those, the more entertaining plays throughout the game too.
There was plenty of entertainment coming in from both sides. First off, this level 1, Olaf, very strong level 1 in the game, but you know who's level 1 is even stronger? That's going to be the Braum, as Winter lands all of the auto attacks necessary in this fight to find the stuns. And oh man, what a good start coming out for ANEW. But Smacks, I mean, SuperNova were really able to actually find their footing into this game once the mid game came around and had some really good fights.
Yeah, like we were talking about before the interview, we were really worried about SuperNova's chances after a play like this. You know, Orange didn't even get the buff. He got it smited away from him. So he starts the game, no buff, dead, level 1. But they are still able to find stuff in the mid game, like this play right here. They find the kill onto Shoryu, they find the kill onto 5Fire, and it's picks like this that keep SuperNova in this game and keep the Medjais stacking for Always Plan Ahead as well. You can see he's continually finding these kills and the assists just to stack that item up for him. And yeah, it's a really high risk, high reward item. And especially after that first play, we were so concerned that they were just throwing it away, but they find continuous plays here. And I was really convinced that they were going to be able to go the distance, but then they end up losing that Cloud Soul, and while it's not as strong as the other souls in the game, it does still provide ANEW with a lot of teamfight mobility, more ultimate cooldown, and then you just get the passive mobility too. So they were able to make good use of that in that late game fight at the end, and that really closed out the game in this play right here.
Yeah, and I know that everyone was talking about APA's Talia and how strong that was, but I want to give a lot of credit to Clyde and PCL, actually, who were really focusing down Shoryu in those fights. And, you know, the team comp of ANEW, they can't really do much into Nautilus Gangplank. And SuperNova, they were pointing out really well, but eventually just the Cloud Soul and the scaling coming in Corki and Aphelios was too much for them to handle. And while the game was much closer than what it should have been, ANEW do come out with a win after some good early game plays, and we'll ignore the throws. It's all about the end result, right?
Yeah, I love the call in that last fight, by the way, that Always Plan Ahead got crop dusted. That was hilarious.
That was good. Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Oh, well, ANEW Esports and SuperNova, thank you for not only being such good sports, but also putting on, you know, when it comes to playoffs games and just being able to end it off, we already know that, you know, like for this game, it didn't mean much. It wouldn't change anything as for SuperNova, but for ANEW, you know, as you said, they wanted to end up on top 2-0 so that they could clinch a higher seed for themselves in the bracket. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we have a way to be able to look at the final standings, but
if we don't, I can read them off.
You know what? Do that for us, Cubby.
Okay, we do actually have the graphic coming up, but I mean, at least going through the standings, I think it's really important to note that Polrace and ANEW, as was mentioned in that 5Fire interview, they are going to have to play a tiebreaker for that number 1 seed over there on Group A. And if you get the number 1 seed in Group A, guess what? That means that the number 1 seed in Group B is on the other side of the bracket from you, and I don't think anyone wants to sniff 100 Thieves next as far as they can go in this tournament. So I think it's really important, that tiebreaker coming in for Polrace and ANEW. I'm excited to see when that's scheduled and what that game's going to look like, because that's going to have big playoff implications as we get this bracket set.
Yeah, and I really want to highlight the point difference in Group A and Group B as well. We saw 100 Next reached up to 19, and then it went all the way down to 10 in intervals of 3. So we're seeing just how dominant the difference is in between those teams. So that first seed is more important than ever, because the difference between those individual teams is going to be really big. So it is going to be a very important best of 1 for that tiebreaker, even though all the rest of the seeds are already locked in there.
Yeah.
With that in place, I believe we do have a bracket here for the playoffs. So we got to see what the matchups will look like. Now, you know, Polrace and ANEW, whoever wins that tiebreaker will then be facing off against SuperNova Dark Matter, and the loser will face off against Simplicity Esports. That is on the bottom bracket. Whereas the top bracket, You got 100 Thieves next, taking on Mirage, and Frostfire taking on Long Beach Nation here. Now, what's up, Cubby? Yeah,
I'm curious that the top 2 seeds from Group B and Group A are both on the same side of the bracket. That said, could make for some really curious semifinals, semifinal matches. We could have some group rematches coming on through. And, you know, Smacks, I don't know about you, but my eyes really go over to Frostfire versus LBGN, as I feel like there are 2 of the underdogs that we have here that have really made a run through Cup, and both teams have been very hot in this tournament.
They really have. They seem like the biggest Smurfs in that best-of-2 format compared to the results in other leagues. So that's going to be a really, really interesting matchup in the quarterfinals. And that also confirms that one of those 2 teams are going to make it into the semis. And both of them were online qualifier teams or open qualifier teams as well. So that's really, really exciting. We are going to get at least one OQ team in the semis, and that's not something that we expected at all, courtesy of teams like Maryville dropping very low below expectations here. So yeah, that's a really, really interesting matchup. I also want to highlight the 100 next Mirage matchup as being a really, really incredible one to watch out for too.
Yeah, there's a lot of players that I'm really keen on watching to see if they can break through that impenetrable 100 Thieves squad there. You know, Robbie Bob and Hayami, Exilian, Tony Top, and I want to say, is it Mist in the support role?
They did take a game off them over in Big.
That is true. Well, that will do it for us here. It was a very long and exciting and entertaining day of cast. Thank you so much for joining us here on Challenges Uprising. We'll be taking a break from next week, but begin playoffs 2 weeks from now, same time. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Birthday to you. Happy birthday. Oh, there we go. There we go.